thousands of babies are born every day. But it's the beauty of the life process in itself that we'll admire together in our journey today, where we encounter the magic of nature that engulfs these little babies. From the ones who need to be looked after, to the ones who are very much on their own the moment they're out of their shells. And then there are some who don't even stay alive to see their own youth. Yes, we're talking about the amazing infants Mother Nature has gifted us with. Not one, not two, but millions of species in the wild, showing us the diversity of nature's sheer magic. From a journey of secure solitude in the womb to the magic of tough survival outside it, these young ones face numerous difficulties in the process of growing up. Let's take a look at these South American sea lions. According to a study in Argentina, male pups averaged 0.82 meters in length and 13.7 kilograms in weight. In contrast, female pups averaged 0.79 meters in length and 12.3 kilograms in weight. Did you know there was something like the magic of energy levels? We'll show you. The summer breeding season provokes these males to sink their teeth into one another. They fight for a small territory of their own with a patch of beach that contains the most females, and the winner claims them for himself. It makes you wonder endlessly how many times one female mates, and that too with multiple partners. Seems some females out there on the beach have all the luck in the world. Amazing, isn't it? The unsurmountable magical energy level of the females. These females surely could make all the Casanovas run for their energy. And well after the kids are born, there might just be a riot for which ones will call which one dad. There is a trick behind how the small numbers of males get all the females together at one place for mating. Though the females are larger in number, the males still get to fight and rule. How? Let's find out. With very large heads, these males are twice the weight of females and dominate them. The males herd the females into their territories and prevent them from leaving until mating is over. The number of actual fights between males depends on the number of females in heat. One look at these menacing predators, essentially crocodilians, and their royally armored, lizard-like bodies, muscular tails and powerful jaws. And one thing is obvious. They are envoys from the magical past. Now, who isn't familiar with the dinosaurs of the famous Jurassic Park? Let's take a peep into what must have motivated that fabulous flick. Alligators live in freshwater environments such as ponds, marshes, wetlands, rivers, lakes, and swamps. The female builds a nest of vegetation where the decomposition of the biomass provides the heat needed to incubate the eggs. Here comes the magical part. The sex of the offspring is determined by the temperature in the nest. It is fixed within 7 to 21 days of the start of incubation. Incubation temperatures of 86 degrees Fahrenheit or lower produce a clutch of females. and those of 93 degrees Fahrenheit or higher produce males. Nests constructed on leaves are hotter and tend to produce males. The nests constructed on wet marsh with lower temperatures tend to produce females. The natural sex ratio at hatching is 5 females to 1 male. Females thus hatched weigh significantly more than males. Temperature seems to be a tool in deciding sexes. Well, this is nature's way of presenting magical, made-to-order babies. These hatchlings have an egg tooth that helps them get out of their egg during hatching. They also have a muscular flat tail that propels them forward while they swim. Ready-made tools for survival. Isn't this pure magic in the egg? These alligators resemble a large number of dinosaurs that used to inhabit the earth. While watching them coming out of their eggs, you feel you could be in Jurassic Park. Now, let's look at some amazing magic. Alligators have been around for 200 million years. The average lifespan for an alligator is 50 years. Scientists say the species is more than 150 million years old, managing to avoid extinction 65 million years ago when their prehistoric contemporaries, the dinosaurs, died off, making them one of the oldest inhabitants of this planet. No wonder they are described as living dinosaurs from the age of reptiles. And as if this wasn't all, we have a list of crocodilian speed magic. They can high walk with their trunks raised above the ground. The semi-erect posture makes it possible for some species to gallop on land if necessary. Larger crocodiles are capable of surprising bursts of speed, briefly reaching up to 12 to 14 kilometers per hour. How about quickly counting the number of teeth this crocodilian may have? Wait till we tell you the magically horrifying numbers. The crocodilians' mouths are filled with a total of 64 to 68 cone-shaped teeth. And the trick behind them is, unlike mammals, they replace their teeth throughout life, though not in extreme old age. Juvenile crocodilians replace teeth with larger ones at a rate as high as 1 new tooth per socket every month, which means that a single crocodile can go through at least 3,000 teeth in its lifetime. Each tooth is hollow and the new one is growing inside the old. In this way, a new tooth is ready once the old is lost. As if this wasn't enough, they have some more numbers to flaunt. Whereas females grow to a maximum of about 9.8 feet, males average 10 to 15 feet in length and can weigh up to 1,000 pounds. Now this weight is just a little less than the weight of a Cessna two-seater trainer airplane. Crocodilians can open their mouths underwater without choking. They can breathe when partially submerged, even if the mouth is full of water. They have a 4-chambered heart like a bird, which is especially efficient at oxygenating their blood. If they remain inactive, they can hold their breath for up to 2 hours. The American alligator is a rare success story of an endangered animal not only saved from extinction, but now thriving. State and federal protections, habitat preservation efforts, and reduced demand for alligator products have improved the species' wild population to more than 1 million and growing today. Underneath this log is a bumblebee queen, and she is truly magical, a first of her line. The queen is asleep, but once she awakes, she will use her magical power to create a colony of bumblebees, and she will do this all by herself. It's spring, and the European countryside is full of flowers. The newly awakened queen visits them in turn, collecting nectar and pollen. Just as attractive to her is an old shed. The queen needs to find a suitable site to create her magic. A gap in a bit of rubble will do. Now is the time for her act. Once inside, special glands in her abdomen produce a wax, with which she fashions a centimeter-high honey pot. Around the pot, she places bundles of pollen moistened with nectar, called bee bread, food for her and for her future progeny. And on some of the bee bread bundles, she lays up to 8 fertilized eggs, which after 3 days hatch out into larvae. Their food is right at their feet. Sheer bumblebee magic. And after a week of gorging themselves, the larvae spin a cocoon in which to pupate. 12 days later, the new bumblebee generation emerges. They are all female bumblebees. Where are the males? Before she lays the egg, the queen bumblebee decides whether to use sperm from the spermatheca to fertilize it or not. Non-fertilized eggs grow into males, and only fertilized eggs grow into females or queens. Any larvae from the remaining fertilized eggs under 5 days old will now turn into new queens. And also, the production of males marks a critical phase in the life of the colony. They feed on the honey cups with no intention of refilling them, for their destiny lies elsewhere. They must find mint-fresh queens from different colonies. The newborn queens inside the old nest desperately build up enough body fat to get them through their winter hibernation. They head off to mate with males from other colonies, returning from time to time to top up their reserves. Autumn has now set in. No workers have been produced since the switch point, and food reserves are getting low. The result? The whole colony dies. The only bees now left alive are the new queens. They start hibernation immediately, finding new places to shelter. Wait, there is also a magic trick for the winters. This one lowers her breathing rate and produces a natural antifreeze to protect her against the cold. Throughout the winter, the future of the next bumblebee colony rests with her. All work and no play make Harry a dull boy. But look at these creatures with interestingly magical energy. They are dedication personified, and we call them termites. Termites are known to have been around since the time of the dinosaurs. Now here is some live performance of these natural architects whose skills and teamwork could put any organization to shame. Some of the nearly 2,000 species, mostly tropical, build huge mounds of sun-baked mud to house their colonies. These mounds, up to 40 feet high, are a characteristic feature of the landscape in parts of Africa and Australia. And they can't do it without making use of some magical tricks. Of the millions inside the mound, 2% are soldiers, and the rest are workers, barring one, the queen. The soldiers come with large heads and massive jaws. They come in 2 sizes, major and minor. The workers also come in two types. The majors are the construction workers who build the mound with soil particles and saliva. The minors tend to the occupants of the royal cell, which is a chamber in the center of the mound that contains the queen. They feed her with regurgitated food, which contains a chemical signal communicating the current state of the community. Compared to the size of these very tiny soldiers and workers, the queen is 10 centimeters long and thousands of times heavier than the workers. She's almost an enormous egg-laying machine, producing about 30,000 eggs a day. The young ones hatch out perfectly formed small termites, which are constantly cleaned and fed in a nursery chamber. The war strategy of the termites under attack of their stark enemy, the aardvark, can give any of the world's generals a run for their money. Here is how they do it. As the aardvark breaks into the mounds, the exposed chambers experience a drop in temperature. The soldier termites bang their heads against the ground as a war signal for the worker termites to get into action. Some of the workers risk their lives to carry the young ones out of harm's way, showing parental skills. While others lift and pull the giant queen to safety. While still others frantically build her another sanctuary by encasing her in new cell walls. And the poor aardvark returns, totally oblivious of whether his meal had the queen or not. This, truly, is a magical example of inherent organizational skills. Termite colonies use a decentralized, self-organized system of activity guided by swarm intelligence to exploit food sources and environments that could not be available to any single insect acting alone. Now that's the magic of teamwork. Now, some of the most interesting facts about termites. Termite colonies eat non-stop 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Termites have wings that they shed once they have found a good place to build a nest. And if termites weren't available to teach us team building, we could always turn to the alternative trainers, weaver ants. Now, let's take a look at our next magical swarm, keeping their feet dry in the mangrove swamps of Borneo. The trees attract many insects, providing food for the ants who build their nests here. This is also a team effort. Some workers hold the leaves together by their stunningly magical creative skills. The small ant larvae secrete a silken thread, and the other workers now pick up larvae and use them to stitch the leaves together, rather like a tube of living glue. Which is why they're called weaver ants. The caterpillar has the same chemical odor as the weaver ants do, and this pacifies them. Astonishingly, instead of attacking it, the ants actually start tending and protecting it. Caterpillars also secrete a sugary solution from their abdomen, a reward for their unwitting carriers, which is quickly taken up by the ants. The ant's symbiotic relationship with the caterpillar continues into the pupal stage, and they continue to protect it. Throughout its slow metamorphosis into a butterfly. If you're a beautiful, vulnerable creature, it helps to have lots of friends. If communication skills is something we missed, these ants have a way to handhold us and teach us our lessons the natural way. They can capture and kill something as big as a cicada. As the tides rise and fall below them, weaver ants move up and down the trees in which they live. As night falls, the weaver ant colony remains active, and some of the ants go hunting. They communicate with each other by leaving chemical trails. Cooperation is the name of the game, so they all get the message and swarm around it if they're to capture and kill something as big as a cicada. That's all we'll reveal today from our Pandora's box. But do join us again here on the Magic of Nature.